This is your favourite song, Louis? Say what? That's exciting. Tell you what we'll do, actually. Let's get the lyrics up because there is no video anyway.
Why are you never real? Whenever you appear, you leave me with that grace. I am trembling with fear, but I know that you will disappear just as I awake, a whisper in my ear. Well, I believe that somewhere in the past something was between you and I, my dear, and it remains with me to this day. No matter what I do, the scar will never fade.
Oh, very cool. This is really lovely how they've kept the instrumentation arrangement kind of simple. All arias I can really detect at this time is just that lead vocal.
Why are you never real?
And an electric guitar.
That you will disappear.
Then we get a lead vocal and a secondary vocal.
Somewhere in the past.
I would consider that like a harmony as opposed to a backing vocal, so they're sort of two separate things. Backing vocals, I would say, is something that is either not with the lyrics or with the lyrics but it deviates from the lead, and then a harmony is something that coats it, and it's coating the whole thing. What they've managed to do with this guitar is just make it increasingly interesting without even really making the part too wild. It seems to just be getting slightly more aggressive in terms of the distortion. That's good old-fashioned music arranging, you know, that's what you would have done before the abundance of technological instruments. This is a really cool, very anthemic sort of trancey sound effect, this one. We've got these triplet hi-hats coming in now, which is most recently associated with hip-hop. The most essential ingredient of a starter pack is like hi-hat, triplets, and a voice, and like a bass. That's all you need. We spoke last time about the fact that Sleep Token sort of operate on this kind of Venn diagram, like with the core ingredients, and they sort of go off to different sort of subgenres, and this seems to be venturing into the hip-hop subgenre, which they have before.
So let's make trouble in the dream world, hijack heaven with another memory go, and make the most of the turning tide. It's just split what's left of the burning silence. Don't wait, cause this could be the last time you turn up in the reveries of my mind, or wake up to a suicide frenzy. Loaded dreams still leave me. I believe somewhere in the past something was between you and I, my dear.
One thing I noticed, just because how cool the note was when he did Fear.
Trembling with fear.
It sort of went down that semitone minor second interval, and he did the same on the word dear.
You and I, my dear.
So even though this verse was like really far away from that first fear, he obviously wanted to have that vowel come back. So every time we get that weird minor second descent, it's on an ear note. Maybe because it's eerie. Something that's very satisfying about this is the attention to the frequency spectrum. You've got the really cool sort of hip hop bass, nice and low. And then you've got like a this sort of synthesized whiny sound at the top. So then you've got like a little vessel Oreo, even though he has the capability to do humongous feats vocally in terms of, you know, you can go up, down, left, right, distort, whatever. He's keeping his voice very central. He's singing notes that he would just speak with. And the attention to detail is not on the textures of the voice, it's on the rhythm. These lyrics are so singable. We talk sometimes about words between words in songwriting to make sure that the lyrics are not stumbly. Sometimes we can think that we have sufficient syllables, so we want to go da 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 da, which is one of the melodies from the other song. I think that was "Who Made You Like This?" But you can't just say anything, because even if it has the right amount of syllables, it probably won't sound good. So I'm just going to read a passage with the same amount of syllables from my favorite book, The Little Prince. So I kept my own. You know, it just sounds lame because this wasn't designed to be sung. You don't have to pay that kind of attention to detail. So beautiful lyrics. I love them. Hijack heaven with another memory. Oh, I love that. It's sort of just, you know, tainting the pure. I mean, I don't love that, but that's a really interesting way to put it anyway.
Was between you and I, my dear, and it remains with me to this day. No matter what I do,
Still got those high frequencies occupied.
will never heal. Why are you
And then it got left empty. Oh. Oh. This has everything that I like. Well, a lot of things that I like. I also like pugs. It doesn't have any pugs. Oh, yeah, there were so many things to point out. The most recent exciting thing was how he said empty and then the song emptied out. I just love that. No, that's post-empty. Christ, okay. We just get that's it sounds like a sort of choir synth. Like it doesn't sound like real voices. It's like you can program keyboards to do choir sounds, like creepy choir sounds, and it sounds like a chord from a synthesized R, which I love. I love. One of you asked, what do I think of the snare? Let's have a look. Oh, it changes all the time. The snare is a chameleon. Whenever there's something particularly big, it seems to disappear a bit and get a little bit more snappy. I loved the fact that they repeated this verse. So let's make trouble in the dream world. It seemed like it was the exact same. The vocals still did not go to any exciting places range-wise, but they mixed this right the way down now that we're in the metal context, as opposed to before it was very present. Because obviously Carl is very, very aware of space for all of the frequencies to live. And they're sort of really been bold with that choice to blend the vocals right down in the mix so that it's obviously muffled to make way for the guitars. When an electric guitar plays the same note in the same octave as the vocalist, they can have some arguments over frequency spectrum. It's like, I was here first. It's like, no. Vessel was co-producer. Yeah, that makes sense. I can imagine that Vessel was the person that made the big decisions in terms of, I'm happy for my vocals to be really, really quiet here, and then I want to have a very specific delay here. That is the connection between the song's like conception, obviously because he wrote it, and then the final product. You know, he is sort of bridging that by being able to communicate with the person who's going to be more on the technical side of things, bringing all of his visions into reality and making sure that everything that he's imagining can be heard. It creates very special things if the artist can be a co-producer, because I find that if not, then, you know, it's sometimes a bit harder for the artist's vision to be fully actualized.